Hello friends. Today I want to talk to you about a very important element of psychotherapy that may be a bit challenging, and that is trust building in psychotherapy, which to a large extent may contradict what we are taught. The only way you can get someone to trust you is if you trust them first. And when you don't have that intangible positive regard or unconditional trust, you shouldn't expect your client to trust you. But this is a much longer story than we think. It's not a simple trust. How can we build deep trust? There are several points that, unfortunately, I don't agree with very much. In psychotherapy, one thing is that the therapist should be a reference, that is, someone like a robot, someone who has no problems, and I strongly disagree with this. The first thing I do to build trust is to tell the client my personal problems, which of course they say is wrong. But I think it's very right. The first element of trust, in my opinion, is for the client to think that the therapist is a human being, and that he or she is there for them. Understanding this, I have to talk about my anxieties, my fears, which of course they say creates this feeling in the client that the psychologist is weak, but this is not the case. If I were to talk about how I treated myself, I would say that I had this anxiety, I had depression, and the disorders that I really had, that is, building trust. I start with myself. I talk about myself, about my anxieties, about fear, how I overcame it, about family relationships. Of course, we must be careful in our work to avoid danger. At the same time, we are very formal. But we must introduce ourselves as a human being who has problems like any other human being. This is very effective in creating this mutual trust. First, we have to talk about ourselves and how we made ourselves stronger. Second, be honest. Don't try to tell a story. Say something about yourself that is either a grand illusion or not true about you. Be honest, friends. Be 100% honest with your clients. The words you say should be words that you truly believe in. You really believe them. The third secret is to trust and maintain confidentiality for the client. Emphasize that these sessions are only between you and me, and that unless there is an imminent threat of death, I will not share this with anyone that you are my client, meaning that our boundary line is the life-threatening danger to our client. So this third point of confidentiality can have a great impact on the trust that develops between the two of you. The fourth point is to focus a lot. This trust-building hook stage is a very important stage. If you are tired, if you have a specific problem, if your mind is busy, you should cancel that session. What is the trust-building stage? You must have enough energy. You must be sufficiently prepared. You must be fully attentive to the client. The fifth step is to tell your client that I am interested in helping you. My My goal is to help you. And I am a specialist psychotherapist. A specialist who wants to help you. I have the expertise and I am interested in helping you solve your problem. The sixth step is equality. Unfortunately, I see this very often. Now, the client is younger than the therapist. The therapist shows himself to be higher than him. You see, friends, a relationship should be equal. Tell your client this. Whatever problem you have, whatever you do, this room is for both of us. The power of both hands is equal. I do not abuse this power in any way. I am completely equal to you. The only difference between me and you is that I am an expert in this field, and this does not make me superior to you. You see, if a person sees himself as younger than you, he will compare you to a father or a parent or a power figure in front of whom he must be silent or cannot talk much. This transfer of therapy will transfer if this happens. Trust building will not be formed. Another thing that can help you a lot in trust building. The seventh thing is that you should talk to everyone in their own way. If the client is not your gender, try to be polite, respectful, and considerate. Do it and use kinder words, or if that's your thing, try to be more intimate, meaning you want to use more of those slang words. I don't know why the psychotherapist must use very formal words. Use psychological terms. The way of saying words should be very simple and completely slang words. And the meetings should become friendly meetings rather than a meeting where we know everything and you know nothing. The eighth item is to talk about your past work and successes in the field of treatment. How is your treatment method? Your relationships with your former clients? And whether their positive changes were sustainable, and the amount of change they achieved during treatment, and the effectiveness of psychotherapy. I am very happy to have been at your service in this video. I would be happy if you subscribe to my channel, Effective Psychotherapy, so that I can get more motivation and be able to serve you. Thank you. Goodbye.